Nigeria's federal government on Tuesday has declared war on currency speculation in its effort to stem the crisis in the foreign exchange market. And that is because the Naira in 1 week recorded its highest slump on the parallel market as it closed at 1,830 Naira to the dollar on Tuesday, while on the Nigerian Autonomous Foreign Exchange, it closed at 1,551 Naira 24 kobo to the dollar, a 47.3 Naira appreciation compared to the 1,598 Naira it closed on Monday. Now, the government issued a directive to the Office of the National Security Advisor and the Central Bank of Nigeria to join forces to address the challenges posed to the national economy by the speculative forex activity. The president, who was represented by the vice president at the event, highlighted a low-hanging fruit of identifying, consolidating, and maximizing returns on government-owned assets worth trillions of naira. According to the vice president, with economic revitalization as its top priority, the federal government has a target of raising at least $10 billion in order to increase foreign exchange liquidity that will in turn stabilize the naira. Our currency traders in Abuja quoted the buying price of the dollar at 1,820 naira to the dollar and the selling price at 1,850 naira to the dollar, leaving a profit margin of 30 naira. Now, we have joining us via Zoom from Lagos, Mukhtar Mohammed. He is a financial analyst and also an investment banker. Welcome to Daybreak, Mr. Mukhtar. So, first of all, I would like to ask you, what are some of these activities of these currency speculators, that negatively impacts the foreign exchange market, if you would explain?
Okay, thank you for having me. Good morning, Abuja, and good morning, Nigeria. Speculators are part of any financial market. Anywhere in the world, you have speculators. And so the only thing you can do with speculators is to come up with policies that will make them burn their fingers. Speculators are everywhere. They speculate virtually with everything. So they are not an enemy to the market. They are also part of the market. They tell you in investment, you have in investment, you have those that are investors, you have those that are shareholders, you have those that are traders, and you also have those that are speculators. They are part of the financial market, and currency speculators are all over the world. But what you do is that you bring out a policy that cause fear into their hearts and their minds, and then they will panic, and definitely they will get their fingers burned. Speculators are always in the market for a certain time, especially when it favors them. But when policy that comes and does not favor them, you see them that they get their fingers burned. So the whole idea of going after currency speculators, arresting them, is a short-term measure that will not guarantee a long-term result. So what best you can do, you come out with policy. Why are speculators thriving? You ask yourself. Then you do the opposite to make sure they don't strive again. And in Nigerian case, why are speculators striving? Because there is low liquidity in the system, and that's why the federal government is saying we have assets in trillion just lying down there. We can decide to sell it and make about $10 billion and bring it into the economy. That would be a game changer. So the whole era of you send EFCC, you send ICPC, you send security, you send DSS, it would not be the lasting solution. Currency speculators are part of the market.
So,
they will always be there.
Do you think
the
that
stock
the government
market still have the same traders, they have investors, and they have speculators. You cannot drive them out of the market. You just come up with policy that will make them shiver.
So, Mr. Mukhtar, do you think that the government is currently going on a wild goose chase by chasing after some of these speculators? For example, the other day we saw on the news how the EFCC had raided, the premises of some of these BDC operators in Abuja and also in Kano. Is the government going on the wild goose chase, and what should they be doing instead?
You agree with me? This is not the first time we are doing this. During the era of the power as the FCC chairman, we did it. And at that time, this currency was trading about 450 to 550. and they rate the bureau de change, and for 1 week or thereabout, they went under. Then the currency came low to about 450. Then within 2 weeks, we were back to from 550 to 600. So it's not something that we have not done before, and we didn't get results. So what do we think? Why do we think we get a result this time? Unless they have some information that I don't have. Look, government know what to do. You they really have to do something. The situation whereby it's only in Nigeria where you see that the CBN is merging, is increasing their rate to meet up with the rate of speculators. How does that work? You were at a low of about 920, then you moved it to 1,500. At that time, the speculators, the people that you are going to arrest, were doing at 1,400, and you have gone at 1,500. Today now, that the speculators are doing at 1,800 and 1,900. You have moved your own to 1,600. So you are trying to bridge the gap of the speculators instead of the speculators trying to bridge your gap. So I think it's a situation whereby they need to work hard on that and make sure that they are able to handle it. So what I think the government should do, they know what to do. The market is starved of liquidity. Improve liquidity in the market, and then we'll have the result that we want.
All right, Mr. Mukhtar, you spoke about some of the activities of the government currently only serving a short-term effect, minus the mid and long-term. So the Vice President also spoke about low-hanging fruit, some of which, is maximizing returns of government-owned assets. And he said it's expected to generate at least $10 billion in order to increase foreign exchange liquidity. Now, how do you think this is going to pan out, especially in situations like this, where we know that in order for the government to increase or to address some of these issues in the medium and long term, it might have to ramp up production, which might not necessarily happen overnight?
You hit the nail on the head. You've answered the question. So that means it's more or less talk and talk. And the speculators are watching you when you talk. They know when you say something that is possible. So they know that, oh, we still have a long time to be in this market. So they continue speculating and they continue doing what they have to do. The government knows that for you to do to increase that sector, productivity sector, then you need to begin to think of basically manufacturing or producing what you eat, almost 80 to 90%. But as it stands now, those are long-term measures. And let me tell you, this is not the first time we've been to this stage. The problem we have is that we easily forget where we have been, because before now, in 2016, 2017, we came to this junction when the exchange rate went as high as 505 Naira. And at that time, the then governor, Emefiele, came up with the import-export window. And before we know it, it maintained that stability to 2020 when COVID now stepped in. Now COVID came, and then we have a destruction of the economy, and then we came back to where we are. Ever since then, the CBN have not been able to wave the magic wand to make sure that we return to stability in the exchange rate. The current administration of the CBN came in and decided to float the currency without having liquidity. And that means you are telling market forces determine our currency, and you are now going after those market forces. It doesn't matter. It doesn't work like that. If you really want market forces not to determine your rate, then you have to have what I call the war chest, have the liquidity to make sure that when it goes above what you think your rate should be, then you intervene in the market by supplying more effects into the market to stabilize it. That's how it is done. No CBN anywhere in the world, no central bank in the world will sit down and watch its currency being battered by speculators like what our currency CBN are doing and saying market forces determine what our rate will be. No, it's not done anywhere. So they need to inject liquidity. And when you talk about injection of liquidity, outside the other sector, what are the short-term measures to inject liquidity into the system? One of the short-term measures is to improve our sales in crude oil, which presently they said they have improved according to the National Security Advisor, and according to the MBS, it was better for the first time since 2020. We have had an improve in the supply in the sale of crude oil, and that's good for us. Then you need to also look at our foreign direct investors, foreign direct investment, that FDI. The FDI have not been there, but I mean, we need to make up weight for them to come into to the economy, and they'll come with FX. And most of all this FDI will not come in when your rate is not stable, because they want to come in at a fixed rate and be sure that they are going out at that rate after making profit. And you must create a two-way exchange system. I should be able to come in and invest in your economy and be able to repatriate my money back. A situation whereby you are telling oil companies that have invested in your country that you can only repatriate 50% of your fund, then 3 months later you repatriate 50%. That does not excite investors to want to come to your market. That means you are trying to control their funds. And meanwhile, you told them to come and invest. And investment-friendly environment is an environment where I can enter and exit at any time. That is what we call liquid. So they need to be, they shouldn't be saying that the president should not be going abroad and telling everybody investor that come to our country, we guarantee you when you invest in our country, you'll be able to exit when you want to exit, make your profit. And then the CBN is saying in the other hand, no, you cannot exit when you want to exit. We tell you how you have to keep your liquidity with us for the next 3 months. That 3 months, what happened to that dollar that they are keeping there? Do they now have an interest on it? Those are part of policies who attract investors. If you say, okay, if we keep 50% in the next 3 months, then this is what you are going to have on top of it, because you are helping us improve liquidity in our system. Fantastic. They will do that, and you might even use that to attract more investors into the market. Nigeria in the diaspora, instead of criticizing us that for the past 10 years we have paid 49 billion in terms of school fees for Nigerians that are in the diaspora, you begin to look at diaspora funding, like what is done in India. India, large investment, their foreign investment, whether foreign direct investment or portfolio investment, have come from their intellectual export that they exported out of their countries. They are the one investing. They have what they call the diaspora funds, whereby those in the diaspora in India are able to come in and also get to enjoy you doing your business. So it's boiled down to them doing what they know, because now we have the diaspora commission. You partner with them and see how we can create a fund whereby they can bring in FX into our economy, rather than us just keeping it there and just waiting for saying that, oh, we have paid so much fees. In 2020, diaspora remittance to the Nigeria economy was over 20 billion. It was even higher than crude oil sale at that time. So we need to partner with the diasporas commission and also Nigerians in the diaspora. Instead of saying we paid school fees of 49 billion, we can actually be able, Nigerians in the diaspora will be able to invest over 15 billion into this economy if you come up with the right investment product for them. They really want to invest in their country. So for me, that's what I think they should do.
Okay, Mr. Mukhtar, while you are speaking, we're also joined by Aminu Gwadabe. He is the BDC president. He also joins us virtually from Lagos. Welcome to Daybreak, Mr. Aminu. Yes, Mr. Mukhtar, what's then the hope for the future? I mean, the government has been, sending quite a different narrative. They've been quite confident that Nigeria has been on the right trajectory of growth. I mean, quite recently, a report by Bloomberg indicated that our oil production has been ramped up from around 1.3 million barrels a day to around 1.5 million barrels a day. Can you walk us through what Nigerians should realistically expect in the future?
Well, this economy has defied realistic expectation, because if our crude oil sale has gone, production has gone up to 1.5 million from 1.3, that means we've added about 200,000 barrels between the last 2 months, and then we should see that reflect in our foreign reserve. Our foreign reserve is not telling us that, and so that's a problem. Said it in Nigeria. The more you see these days when you talk about economics, the less you understand, because the government keeps saying that, oh, we have attracted investment. Even the CBN governor, when he appeared in the Senate, said they attracted an investment of $1 billion into the economy, and yet the exchange rate volatility is still there. The exchange rate, Malam Gwadabe will tell you that what is driving this issue now is liquidity. And so when the demand is high and supply is low, definitely you continue to, on growth. Growth in Nigeria, that all depends on our oil production. So when you see them come up with a GDP of 3.1 or 3.3, just because we have improved in our oil output, oil production, and then they expect that because that is the only key driver of any effects into our economy. So we need to do more to grow the real sector.
All right, Madam Gwadabe, Earlier, I was speaking with Mr. Mukhtar, and we spoke about the activities of the EFCC on, clamping down on some of your operators around Lagos and, and Abuja. I don't know if you would react to it and, clear the air on some of the issues around the EFCC and also the CBN accusing BDC operators of being responsible for the appreciation of the, dollar against the Naira that we've seen recently.
Hello.
Okay, I understand that, Mr. Guad. Yes, Mr. Guadabi, go ahead.
Hello?
I can hear you.
Okay, good morning. Thanks for giving us this opportunity.
Yes, good morning. Can you please turn on your video? We can't see your face.
My video is a bit bad, so like you complained. That's why I'm putting it up.
All right, then, please go ahead.
So better, I don't know. Okay, good morning. First, we want to thank you for giving us this opportunity to make clarification. My name's, like you said, Dr. Aminu Godebi. I'm the president of the Association of Licensed Bureau de Change Operators of Nigeria. Yes, there is stigmatization, criminalization of the so-called Bureau de Change. However, there is the need to make clarification. There is the need to make differentiation. We ABCON were licensed Bureau de Change by the Central Bank of Nigeria, and the rate is not targeted at us. And to be fair to the EFCC have been engaging us, both the license and anybody that is trading in Nigeria, trading FX. They have reached almost all of us. What they are using is kinetic and non-kinetic. They have used engagements several times. We have been having engagement with them. And first, in their engagement, what they are saying, most of us are vulnerable. People are using us to launder money. Politicians, government, civil servants, most of the time, the proceeds of their crime come through the Bureau de Change. And let me tell you, Naira is depreciating not because of the demand of dollar, but Naira is depreciating because of the unearned income that is pursuing dollar. You see that anytime we have FAC, JAC, that's when you see the exchange rate volatility even worsen. So there is a lot of unearned income that is chasing dollar. It's not the critical demand. The legitimate demand is not the one that's causing volatility, but the illegitimate demand is the one that is causing volatility. What are these illegitimate demands? I told you about proceeds of corruption. Corruption is the elephant in the house. We all know. So for me, that has to be addressed. Most importantly, yes, there is issue of liquidity, no doubt about it. I thank God Malam Mukhtar have said a lot about sources, a lot about policies. However, there is no justification, not any economic fundamental that will warrant that our exchange rate should be doing 1718. There is also what we call professional enablers. Professional in the UK now, professional enablers have been termed. Who are professional enablers? We have lawyers, we have accountants, we have bankers, estate agents. All these people add to the pressure of volatility of the Naira. So, like I said, the rate is not necessarily targeted at us as a licensed Bureau de Change. Nowhere in the world. Let's tell ourselves the truth. It's all about reforms. The issue of trading on the street had a history. Why is there licensed Bureau de Change? It's about reform. So my call to the government, let's continue to engage. Let's continue to have that reforms so that everybody will be part of it. Everybody will put his input. However, I also want to commend the central bank. There is a lot of engagement. I want to commend the security agencies who have provided so many way forward. As I speak to you, engagement are going on since yesterday. And I want to assure Nigerians, this engagement, like Malam Mukhtar said about liquidity, we have been cracking our brain. ABCON is coming with a framework whereby we can inject liquidity. And we hope as soon as possible, this liquidity will come to play.
All right, thank you very much, Dr.
And also ensure that there's Naira volatility. We have reduced the volatility in the market.
Yes, you spoke so much about the activities of corrupt individuals. You spoke about unearned income chasing after the dollar, but you also spoke about
Right.
reforms. You're a point man when it comes to access to foreign exchange. That is dollar, which means that you touch dollar maybe every day of the week. So, but then again, what are some of these reforms that are going to, hinder the activities of these bad eggs in terms of illegal BDC operators, in terms of some of these other issues that you've mentioned, to make your activities more seamless, better, and to make the work of the EFCC and also the CBN on the MPC side, easier and much better for the generality of Nigerians?
Right. Yeah, those are my thoughts. Those are my views that I've shared. Like I've said, we need to streamline, we need to formalize, and outcome, like I said, part of our framework is to digitalize the entire retail end market, make it convenience, compassion. You don't even need to come to a street and do retail end businesses. From the comfort of your office, you can buy your personal traveling allowance, business traveling allowance, medicals, school fees, mortgage, subscription. That platform is already in completion, and we are carrying the central bank along, and they are giving us all the necessary support to ensure that the entire market is automated. It's a moving wave. Nigeria cannot wait. Imagine even the activity of Binance, what they are doing. This is an internet trading platform. I'm happy Binance is also one of the factors, because everybody, before he comes to market, either you are a buyer, either you are a seller, you want to go to Binance and see what is the rate doing. So they became a reference point. As we speak, Naira is traded in America, Naira is traded in United Kingdom, Naira is traded in China, Naira is traded in United Arab Emirates. So it's not a hidden issue. People go to that internet if they want to sell and see what the rate is doing there before they come to the market. We are also coming out with what we call common website for price discovery. This common website, every bureau de change, licensed bureau de change will be on that website, whereby you go and cut your willing and buying rate and the amount you have. We want to encourage transparency, we want to encourage accountability, we want to encourage traceability, so that even the central bank, the EFCC, can go into that website, see the activity of bureau de change. We are reforming, we are transforming, we are changing, we are automating, we are digitalizing. However, we are also looking at norms and culture. When you are coming with reforms, you look at the norms and culture. The global standard practices is their norms and culture that we now all call global practices. In Nigeria, we are cash people. We love cash. There is nervousness. There is loss of confidence.
Okay.
However, what we are looking at is not total electronic. We are going to come with hybrid, whereby if you are traveling, you can have some in cash and some in your card.
Okay.
To consider the culture and norms of the society.
Okay, Dr. Gwadubi, thank you very much for your response. Mr. Mukhtar, if you're still there, you've heard some of the submissions of Dr. Gwadubi around the issues. However, talking about reforms, the MPC meeting, the Monetary Policy Committee meeting, will be holding on the 26th and 27th of this month, following the okay by the Senate just yesterday. That's Thursday. So what are your expectations? What do you expect would be discussed, and what do you expect would be the outcome of this first Monetary Policy Committee meeting being headed by the Central Bank Governor, Olayemi Cardoso?
Well, I expect two things from this. They have to come up with strategy, tell us how they are going to tame inflation. It has become a monster to our economy. So hopefully they will come out with what they will do to tame inflation. They're going to tighten rates again, and even the tightening of rate, how would that impact in the consumer sector, which is the large driver of the Nigerian economy, especially the informal sector, because we're already suffering from a very high inflationary pressure, and this has resulted in the cost of high goods and services. And then they have to address these effects. They need to tell us what they are doing. And I'm excited with what Alhaji Gwadabi is saying, and I've been with him in several programs, and he kept giving this assurance for a long time, but we have not seen that light at the tunnel. Hopefully, when the CBN comes with that monetary policy meeting, they will say what they are doing and how they are partnering with the Bureau de Change. Because I still believe strongly that the Bureau de Change is the retail arm of the foreign exchange market. And like he rightly pointed out, that sector was established to meet low demand like 1,000, 2,500. But I think we've abused that sector by going to, because of corruption, which he have said, we have a lot, sometimes exchange of up to $1 million, $2 million, $3 million in. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to meet the low end, the SME that need 1,000, or the man that is traveling that need just 3,000 or 4,000. And I'm excited he's talking about automation. I expect the CBN to come up after the monetary policy committee meeting to tell us how they want to automate and tell us what is the true worth of our reserve, how much do we have in our reserve. Those are part of the things I'm expecting from the MPC. And I think what every Nigerian is expecting from the MPC, what are you doing to stabilize the rates of the exchange?
All right, then, let me digress a little bit, Mr. Mukhtar. Of course, you know that a lot of Nigerians, and yourself, has attributed some of the pressures that Nigerians are currently facing to the removal of fuel subsidies. So across Nigeria, there have been a couple of protests in Niger State, Oyo State, Lagos State, Jigawa State, and still going on, calling for the reversal of this policy. Perhaps your take on this issue and your perspectives, of course, would be much appreciated.
Well, I don't think for removal of subsidy have come to stay. We have seen that play out, especially with what we've seen in the allocation to local government and states. States have had high allocation, local government have. The only challenge that we have is that these two arms of government have not really allowed the people to feel the impact of this increase in allocation as a result of the removal of subsidy. They need to let us begin to feel it, and the people will now see the benefit of the removal of subsidy. I think subsidy was a scam that was not paying anybody, and all of a sudden, cost of petroleum imported in Nigeria kept going down. But if we have subsidy, I wonder maybe we would have been paying subsidy of about 10 trillion at the moment. So for me, subsidy is gone, and we should allow it go. And even if World Bank, IMF feel still that subsidy is still there, let it be there, but it's not in the magnitude that it used to be before. And so by the time we start internal production, especially from the Dangote refinery, hopefully we'll begin to see the cost of some of these petroleum products come down. Maybe not drastically, but little by little. Then we'll begin to get them. We'll have competitors. For me, it's a no-brainer. Subsidy is gone, and let it be gone. Let it be gone forever. It's just that government will learn how to pay subsidy in other sectors. No economy in the world strive without government paying subsidy in one area or the other to their citizens. Government is doing that in electricity now, which I think is good. But again, I think there's still a lot of work to be done in that sector because a lot of Nigerians are not metered. So what government is paying, maybe government is also overpaying because government need to come up with a strategy to let them know that if you don't meter so amount of Nigerians, we will not pay you subsidy. We only pay subsidy on those Nigerians that are metered, and come up with a strategy through the National Electricity Regulation Commission. So there's a lot to be done, but I think we shouldn't be thinking that we should go back to where we used to be before. I don't think that's the right thing to do at the moment.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mukhtar. Dr. Gwadabe, if you can hear me, what are your concluding thoughts on the issues around the FX volatility, the operations of BDCs and the government, and how all of these can be improved to see a final improvement of the Naira on the FX market, especially against the dollar?
My concluding thought is that stop hoarding, stop speculation, as all stakeholders are putting their hands on deck to ensure there is liquidity in the market and stop the volatility. Two, I also call on all the regulatory agencies and security agencies to continue the engagement they are doing here, they are doing right now to ensure there is liquidity in the market. And third, I'm calling on all my members to remain compliant and operate within their offices.
All right, Dr. Aminu Gwadabe, the President, BDC Operators, joined us virtually from Lagos. Thank you so much for your contributions on the discussion, and also Mr. Mukhtar Mohammed, a financial analyst and an investment banker who also joined us via Zoom from Lagos. Thank you so much for your perspectives, gentlemen. We do hope to have you once again review, of course, the issues, especially as it relates to the state of the economy. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having us. But thank you. I always enjoy having you in a discussion like this.
Malam, Doctor, I will call you after this week. I'll try and reach out to you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure having you, sir.